Hello, folks. This is Alan in today's news. What I got for you right now is Philadelphia gas station owner hires heavily armed guards to protect business. And we're going to listen to this. This is on YouTube here. This is from Fox 29 Philadelphia.
All right, we got a question for you. Would this make you feel safe? Take a look. A security guard armed with a semi-automatic weapon. It's happening at a North Philly gas station. The owner coming up with the idea to scare off criminals. If you saw this, this is our go vote for tonight. Would you feel safer or uncomfortable? So right now the vote is 65% of you saying safer, 35% uncomfortable. So be sure to vote at fox29.com/go vote. Shawnette, you spoke with the gas station owner who says this is needed to keep both his workers and customers safe.
Yeah, interesting listening to those numbers you just gave us, Sheba. So the store manager says that he had to do something more than call 911. And most customers, I'll tell you, that I talked to this evening on and off camera say that they support this, but there were a few who say they don't believe this is the right approach. Hired security strapped with AR-15s or shotguns, standing guard and walking the property of this North Philly gas station and convenience store.
This is supposed to be a city, right? And you got the kids walking around. Guns like that should be on the battlefield.
Corey Berry says she's on board with it.
If you're trying to get gas, you live in a bad area, and the only place is here, and they're getting robbed all the time, I mean, I support the owner.
Neil Patel is the manager of this Carco shop franchise at Broad and Clearfield.
We are tired from this all nonsense. Robbery, drug trafficking, racketings, all kind of hanging around all gangs.
He shared with me these videos of what has led up to this drastic response to crime at his business. Over the past few weeks, he says his store was trashed by young people, an ATM stolen out of the store, and he says his car was vandalized while parked at the store.
They're forcing us to hire the security, high-level security, state level. I am fearful for my safety of my employee as well as my nice neighborhood, all customers.
So 3 weeks ago, he hired the Pennsylvania site state agents.
We wear Kevlar. We are trained. My guys go to training every other week. They're proficient with this. They're proficient with their taser. They know the laws.
Andre Boyer is the chief of the company.
As a Pennsylvania state agent, that's what it says. The law tells us that we have a right to protect this property in any means necessary, and whatever force necessary to be used to protect it.
This man told employees he's against it. I asked Patel about it.
They feel like using guns, you know, when we have such a big problem with guns in the city, is not the right message.
And that's not a right. I understand that, but according to some people, violent people, they carry the gun. Then they're not afraid then, and this is the protection for neighborhood and the customers.
All right, so you heard him. He just said that people who are against this are concerned about the armed security, but they should be concerned about the bad guys who are out there carrying the guns. Meanwhile, Patel says that he's had a store there for about 20 years. He said the crime has gotten increasingly worse just over the past few years. And he tells me that in the past 3 weeks, he hasn't had any issues with the crime since bringing this company on.
And the people you talk to, Shawnette, I have this out on Twitter, and a lot of the comments are exactly what you got in response. This is where we are in the city. This is unfortunately what we need to do to keep our stores and our customers safe if we own a gas station. And
especially since you see everything that happened with this particular business owner. Shawnette, I just want to mention, too, just going back to our go vote, when we came on the air, I think it was around 65% who said that it makes them feel safer. Now it's at 80%. Just during your report, it jumps up that high.
Wow. Yeah, it is certainly a sight to see, but people say it is for their safety.
Yeah. All right, Shawnette, thank you very much. More to that story to come, no doubt.
Magnify Max AX.
Okay, folks, let me know what you're thinking about it. I think it's a good idea because, like, in some big cities, you know, the young kids are actually carrying guns anyway. And they're carrying big guns, too. And little guns ain't going to help. It's not that you're sending the wrong message. It's actually you're protecting the owner of the station and employees here. And I'm for it myself. You know, it's the hoods. These gangs, they're the one that's starting it. You know, you got to stop them somewhere. Can't back down. Howdy, folks. Here's one for you here. It's not a good one. This is out of News 10, Knoxville, Tennessee area. It said Monroe County, child shot and killed by her father in Georgia after he gained custody following mother's death. The preteen's grandmother was petitioning for custody. The Tennessee Department of Children's Services said courts made the final decision. Now this is going to be in the case where courts are never right. You know, the courts are only out there to mess around with you. You know, they make dumb decisions like everybody else, and they're out there to make money. You know, it's not for your good. It ain't.
New tonight, a family is looking for answers, and they're pointing fingers at Tennessee's Department of Child Services. It comes after a 12-year-old girl from East Tennessee was shot and killed inside a Georgia home by her father. Now her grandmother is speaking out. Reporter Mary Klingler talked to her, and Mary, she says this could have been avoided.
Yeah, Robin, deputies say Angel's mother was killed in a car crash in 2016, and then she was put into state custody. Her grandmother says even though she was fighting for custody, Angel was placed in about 8 different foster homes and eventually put into her father's custody.
I just wanted to bring her home so that she could mourn her mother with family.
It's an unimaginable crime. A man shooting and killing his daughter.
If she had just came here, that this whole thing would have turned out differently.
Angel Ahern had just turned 12 on October 11th.
There was no way that you could be in a room with her if even 2 seconds and not just absolutely love her. She was outgoing, she was expressive, she was happy.
Grandmother Monica Dunning says before Angel's mother died, the father wasn't allowed to see her.
He wasn't allowed to have any contact with Angel because the abuse allegations started before my daughter died. They were in the throes of getting divorced.
Angel's mother died in a car crash on Halloween 2016. The next day, Angel's life would dramatically change.
I filed for custody and I went through the whole ICPC process, and it never happened.
Instead, Dunning says Angel was placed into several different foster homes across Tennessee.
I felt like they would place her with anybody else but me.
In May of last year, Tennessee Child Services awarded custody to her dad. 17 months later, they moved to Monroe County, Georgia, where deputies say he shot and killed her before killing himself.
She watched her father walk up to her and put a gun to her head and shoot her. So that's just horrifying. And no 12-year-old, and especially that 12-year-old, should have gone through that.
Dunning is left asking why. Representative Gloria Johnson says it's one of several issues with DCS.
I mean, it's just morally wrong.
She says DCS is understaffed, underpaid, and letting mistakes fly under the radar.
I think it is time to find the money to address the situation now.
We reached out to Tennessee DCS, and they said they're deeply saddened by this tragedy. A spokesperson for the department says in part, when DCS is made aware of Tennessee child living in unsafe conditions, the department follows the established protocol to petition the court, and the court makes the final decision about the child placement. We reached out to the court's judge, and he said he has no comment at this time. Now, Johnson says she's asking the governor to do something now before another child is hurt. She says they...
Yeah, you know, these are supposed to be child services to protect the children. What are they protecting? You know, they're not protecting. There's only just there to make money. I'm against the courts, the child protection agencies, because they're not protecting the children. You know, this guy was barred from being near her, and they gave the girl to him, and he killed her. You know, and the judge didn't want to make a comment. You know, he got to talk to his lawyers probably before he make a comment. Hell with these judges and these court systems. They're all bull crap. Police stations, police, you know, the police, everybody, you know. Right, Biden. Okay, here's one. This is from NBC News. Thousands of workers at 15 U.S. airports plan rallies and strikes in support of better working conditions. You know, this happens all the time. Once a big establishment starts striking, somebody else is going to be following right behind them. We can do it too. Anyway, here's the article. Airport workers across the country are rallying and walking off the job Thursday to draw attention to current working conditions and legislation that could improve them. Workers in 15 U.S. airports, including ones in Dallas, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, and Phoenix, plan to participate in on-site rallies. Formal strikes, which could disrupt operations, are planned at Boston Logan, Chicago O'Hare, and Newark International Airport. And watch, more airports going to follow too. You know, it's like somebody leads, and you follow the leader. That's what it is. The actions are expected to take place throughout the day, and we'll see cabin cleaners, baggage handlers, janitors, security guards, wheelchair attendants, and more participate. Airport workers like me and working people all across the economy are fed up, said Verna Matovo, a cabin cleaner at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, in a statement provided by the Service Employees International Union, which is planning the action. The rallies are in support of the Good Jobs for Good Airports Act, introduced in June by U.S. Senator Ed Markey. He's a Democrat. It would set a minimum wage of $15 for airport service workers, as well as ensure the workers have paid time off, holidays, adequate health care, and other benefits. It would be similar to what other federal contractors currently receive. Without us, no one could travel safely to visit their families over the holidays. Seeing smiles on passenger faces giving me a huge sense of pride. But it comes at a huge cost when I can't support my own family on poverty or wages, she said. I didn't think they were getting paid that low. Well, janitorial work and stuff. Well, security guard gets paid low too. Workers at Newark O'Hare and Boston Logan International Airport are going on strike to protest unfair labor conditions against their direct employer, Swiss Port International AG. Is it a Swiss company, I wonder? With the holiday travel season upon us, it's more important than ever that employees in Boston and nationwide pay airport workers the money they rightfully earn, while respecting their legally protected right to unionize. Anyway, you can read the rest of this. That's all I'm going to read on this one here. Be in the description box of the link. Okay, here's one here. Biden to announce federal bailout for troubled union pension funds. This is from USA Today out of Washington. On Thursday, Biden on Thursday will join labor leaders to announce a federal bailout for a pension fund largely benefiting Teamster workers and retires. The $36 billion for the Central States Pension Fund will prevent benefits from being cut more than in half for more than 350,000 truck drivers, warehouse workers, construction workers, and others, according to the White House. What's about to happen? Teamster workers and retirees will join Biden and Labor Secretary Marty Walsh at the White House event announcing the assistance. Biden has said his goal is to be the most pro-union president in U.S. history. He held the first public event of his presidential campaign at a Teamster Hall in Pittsburgh in 2019. Critics like George Mason University Charles Blahas say the bailout encouraged more of the irresponsible behavior that got pensions into trouble in the first place. Who is being helped? Most states have workers or retirees expected to benefit. The states with the most beneficiaries are Michigan, 40,300, Ohio 39,900, Missouri 27,800, Illinois 25,000, Texas 22,500, Wisconsin 21,900, Indiana 19,600, Minnesota 19,300, Florida 18,700, Tennessee 14,200. Anyway, I'll have this posted in my link. But have you noticed though, Biden, he's giving away oil and money like it's his, like he owns it, like he's the king. You know, he walks around on stage like he's all drugged up. You know, I think they got a lot of drugs in him just to keep him alive, actually. But anyway, the U.S. is in debt anyway. We're very much a poor country now. We are. Okay, while I'm on the subject, I done a search here about how much the U.S. is in debt. It said here, $31.12 trillion we are in debt. Key takeaways, the U.S. national debt was more than $31.12 trillion in October 2022. The debt to GDP ratio gives insight to whether the U.S. has the ability to cover all of its debt. Recession, defense budget growth, and tax cuts have all caused the national debt to GDP ratio to raise to record levels. The U.S. cannot afford to default on its debt without major global economic consequences. That's what I'm trying to say, people. You know, Biden, he don't have a brain. He don't think. Hey, he said, it's only money. It's not mine. I'll give it away. He's the worst president we ever had. He don't think that, but he is. Anyway, this link will be in my description also. He pisses me off. Okay, here's one right here. This is from Metro. 1 in 10 young people say they've never planning on getting a job. Many young people feel totally excluded from the jobs market and are rapidly losing hope, according to a new post. Youth unemployment is chronically high, with 16% of all 18 to 24 years old, that's about 859,000, not in work. Nearly 1 in 10 people, that's about 227,000, not currently in employment or studying, say they never intend to work a day in their life. What's wrong with this world nowadays? You know, back in the day, kids worked at 12, 13, 14, 15 years, you know, when they're a year old. It's like they don't care no more. They just want everything handed to them. And that's the problem. Their parents always handed stuff to them. The findings are based on a survey of 5,000 people commissioned by City and Guides, a skill training organization. It paints a bleak picture in which many feel excluded in job market, which can seem hostile or geared against those looking to get a foot on the ladder. Almost a third, 30% of young people stated they don't think they will ever be able to achieve their career ambition. Well, they don't work. How can they? The figures are even more stark for society's most vulnerable, particularly those who have been in the prison system, 59%, been a refuge, 54%, or been through the care system, 44%. High youth unemployment has been an issue for more than a decade, and the pandemic was just another challenge heaped onto an already cracking system that makes it incredible difficult for young people to convert their aspiration into good jobs. Anyway, you can read the rest of this. The link will be in my description, like always. Okay, here's one here from Business Insider. Leaked email reveals Tesla wannabe Lucid is worried over cancel orders and will call customers up to 14 times to ask them not to ditch their 6-figure EV. So people are trying to cancel them now, huh? They don't even have them yet. As it races to sell more luxury electric vehicles by the end of the year, Lucid Motors is upping pressure on its retail workers and introducing a new protocol to slow customer order cancellation, according to 2 internal emails viewed by Insider. The memos sent over the past 2 months come amid the young automakers' rush to ramp deliveries before December 31st, as delivered vehicles this year have lagged behind production. Lucid produced a total of 3,687 vehicles in the first 3 quarters of the year, short of the pace it needs to hit its target for the year of between 6,000 and 7,000 vehicles. Meanwhile, Lucid saw reservations for its cars drop from 37,000 in second quarter to 34,000 in the third quarter. In a third quarter earnings call, CFO Cheryl House attributed the drop to a mix of deliveries made and customers' cancellation. Every cancellation is a failure, read in an email sent to Lucid retail employees. The email laid out an elaborate process for saving those failures, as the Lucid employees explained it to Insider. Okay, here's something here from MoneyWise. Winter is coming. The best country in the world is planning to ban electric cars amid high energy crisis. It is time to revisit all auto stocks. Here are 3 big plays. According to a report in the Telegraph on Saturday, the country is considering emergency measures in case of the electricity supply shortage this winter. Switzerland, the best country in the world, according to a recent analysis from U.S. News and World Report, could shorten store operating hours, lower the thermostats of the buildings, and limit private use of electric vehicles. Not here yet, in the U.S. anyway. See, I think I found a few more I want to read, and then it'll be the end of my program here. A railroad strike might be on the horizon. This is yesterday, so when you see this news, it'll be the day before. And it's nothing to read. Railroad strike may be on the horizon this holiday season. Those traveling may if the strike goes on, we got a few more days, and people won't be traveling too much, at least not by train. So old dumb butt getting off that plane. Anyway, one more thing I want to do here before I close this session up here. Oh, 2 more things. Never mind. Let's see what this one here is. This is from Science Alert. Enjoy it while you can. Dropping oxygen will one day suffocate most of life on Earth. That's because we're being more asphalt and concrete and less plants. For now, life is flourishing on our oxygen-rich planet, but Earth wasn't always that way. and scientists have predicted that in the future the atmosphere will revert back to one that's rich in methane and low in oxygen. This probably won't happen for another billion years or so, so it's nothing we have to worry about. But when that change comes, it's going to happen fairly rapidly, according to research published in 2021. This shift will take the planet back to something like the state it was in before it was known as the Great Oxidation Event, around 2.4 billion years ago. What's more, the researchers behind the study say that atmospheric oxygen is unlikely to be a permanent feature of habitable worlds in general, which has implicated for our efforts to detect signs of life further out in the universe. The model project, that is deoxygenation of the atmospheres, with atmospheric O2 dropping sharply to levels of the Archean Earth, will most probably be triggered before the inception of most greenhouse conditions in Earth's climate system and before the extinction loss of surface water from the atmosphere, the researchers explain in their paper. Okay, that's enough of that one. One more I want to show you for real this time. Right here. Told you for real this time. I don't go out and eat no more, but in case people do. This is from USA Today. McDonald's is selling 50-cent double cheeseburger Thursday and Friday. The latest deal at McDonald's lets you make it a double cheeseburger that is for only 50 cents. Double cheeseburger usually costs $2.89, but on Thursday and Friday you can get the sandwich for 50 cents, which you can order within fast food chain's app and pick it up. Okay, so you got to use the app then. I got the app, never used it. I think I deleted it because I don't eat fast food no more. We eat at home. We stop buying pizzas out. We just buy the frozen cheese. Frozen stuffed crust pizza. It's really great. From from Walmart and Save a Lot. But it's really good pizza. Anyway, that's all I got to mumble on now. And see you tomorrow. Hope you enjoy the news. I try to be a little more entertaining each time. So, later.